getting a lot of business accomplished, we're catching up on old relationships, forming new ones. So it's been really valuable.
I just think the collaboration again is amazing, and I think it's brought the joy of travel back.
Welcome back. We have another exciting day ahead for you.
I don't think you can really replicate the power of being there in person, and I think it was very valuable for me.
Anybody who's not here is really missing out.
It's great to see our community come together, and for me personally, you just get re-energized.
Please welcome GBTA President Denise Trousseau.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, since we have attendees here in person in Orlando as well as joining us remotely. It was definitely a rise and shine morning for me this morning and all those that turned out for the 5K. Thank you to American Airlines for sponsoring, and it was great to see so many people putting a focus on their health and wellness. The winner of not the winner, but I heard the running time was 21 minutes. I'm proud to say I finished under an hour. We'll just leave it at that. It's our final day here at Convention 2021, and we have another great session planned. We hope that you're having a great chance experiencing some of the amazing speakers, the numerous education sessions, and a lot of business, and enjoying a bit of fun at the same time. I know a lot of you guys were up late, and I'm glad to see you here again today. It's great to see so many colleagues and friends, but familiar and new faces, even from behind those pesky masks. But being here today is also a somber reminder of those that are not here with us today, those that we have lost since last year's convention. Two of these people are Kevin McGuire and Jake Safoya, both former GBTA board members. We've also lost chapter and community leaders and members, people in our GBTA community and throughout the business travel industry. Some of those losses have been extremely personal for me and many of you. So please join me in a moment of silence and remembrance as we celebrate the lives that we've lost. Thank you. I know that they're here with us in spirit and will be for the rest of our convention times. This certainly is a GBTA convention like no others, in a year that's been like no others, and I'm heartened to be reminded of this week, of the resilient industry and one that's always moving forward, creating the future for our travelers, companies, and our communities. At our recent board meeting, Mark Kasheri and I compiled a list of all of the new platform statements from board members, both currently serving on the board as well as those candidates who stepped to serve. The resulting Word document you see behind me is a result of what represents what's most important to you, our GBTA members. It's also what will drive our collective purpose as a board for the future evolution of the association, the business travel industry, and our travelers and our companies. This will be our guiding foundation for what we'll focus on for the months ahead, together with all of the GBTA leaders and staff. We will work together to focus on the future and what changes we can make to ensure that GBTA, our industry, and our members emerge stronger and better than ever before. We'll work together with the executive director, our staff, our GBTA board, and boards around the globe to ensure the financial stability and governance while providing a strong return on our investment for all of our members. We'll work together to ensure GBTA collaboration between the board, staff, members, chapters, committees, advisory boards, ladders, the Allied Leadership Council, to reach those common goals. We'll work together to unite as one industry to deliver one message, and that is we must restart business travel. Travel must return. We'll work together to listen to our members and to hear what our members' needs and create the environment so everybody can flourish in the future. The mission of GBTA is one, to connect the world, to connect the people who connect the world. The GBTA Hub is just one of the ways that this association has provided a space and a place for our members to connect and be informed. We hope that you've taken the time to check out our new GBTA Hub that was launched this week. If you haven't, please take some time. We've heard great feedback. The latest version of the Hub is more customizable, it's easier to navigate, It allows the members to engage with fellow communities, committees, and topics. So take the time to take it for a spin and let us know what you think. On behalf of the GBTA Board of Directors, I'm standing here before to thank you for the chance to lead and serve this in the coming year. It is an honor and privilege that we all look at as a trust in us to make sure that we're moving forward through collaboration, transparency, and continue to earn your trust. We look forward to supporting the critical work of the association and celebrating the milestones ahead. Before we get to today's recognition ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge someone who won a very important award on Tuesday night. This winner is the Committee Member of the Year, Mike Daly. Congratulations, Mike.
Please welcome from the GBTA Board of Directors, Rita Visser.
Trying to figure out when they're going to, that isn't my walkout music that I chose, by the way. Just kidding, I didn't have a choice. Thank you for acknowledging Mike Daly, and now we're going to celebrate some other people, because acknowledgement and giving to people who have given back is important. And as a result of that, this year, we have a special and new introduction. During Wednesday's opening ceremony, you guys, along with me, helped to honor Dave Hilfman and thank him for his service. He served as our interim executive director in some really tumultuous times for us. So between July 20th and February 2021, Dave was there for us. As a GBTA Board of Directors, we wanted to make sure that we could acknowledge him for his service to us and to the industry that he's so passionate about. As a result, we created the Dave Hilfman Leadership Scholarship. It's new this year, and we're so happy about it. We wanted to recognize him for his spirit and everything that he does for us. So now I'm going to go on. It's my opportunity to give that first award. It is a no-strings-attached scholarship that will be given out for the next 3 conference years, and we're excited to be able to do that. So Hilf, thank you. We're going to call you up on stage in just a minute to recognize you properly. When it comes to leadership in the industry, there's one name that floats to the top every single time. It's consistently at the top of leadership because of her dedication, her willingness to be fun, her willingness to be bold, her willingness to help others. And she is a shining example to all of us. She also is really important within her own organization. And as a result of that, the leadership that she has there, she brings it over to our leadership in both the GBTA and in WIN-IT. She volunteers her time, she mentors, and she is she's the gold standard of a leader within the organization. She's made an enormous impact for so many, and we're so proud of this. So proud of this person. So if you'd raise your hands and clap with me, this year's the award winner for the Dave Hilfman Leadership Scholarship is Beth Knirk, Senior Vice President of Avis Budget Group. Beth and Dave, can you please come on stage so we can celebrate you? We're going to do a few pictures with them, with me, so.
So glad I stayed. I just was making fun of Dave.
She was just making fun of Dave. Okay, you two take a picture. The 3 of us are going to take a picture.
Rita and I really want to jump around.
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
And then to celebrate Dave.
Yes.
To celebrate Dave. Woohoo! Love you. People didn't really believe we were going to do that, but Hilfman's carried me for years and I've carried him for years. It's just got different vernaculars and different meanings. So thank you to both. An ongoing assessment of our industry has called for some things that we needed to do, and the board recognized that. We knew that it was important for ourselves, our members, and our futures. I'd like to take a minute to welcome on stage with me Will Pinnell. He's also a member of the GBTA Board of Directors. We went down a path together this year to look at our bylaws and to make the changes that you as members wanted. So Will, come on out, let's have this conversation. Yeah, I just kissed Hilfman, and I'm going to give him yeah.
Congratulations, Beth. Well, good morning. For those of you here, I want to remind you that a year ago, the GBTA Board of Directors heard from many of you that serious changes were needed to better our association in preparation for our future global growth, including at the very fundamental level of our bylaws. So at the behest of the board, Rita and I began recruiting volunteers, and amazingly, hundreds of you responded. The outcome was the formation of a GBTA bylaws task force with 4 subgroups that involved over 60 individuals charged with reviewing and processing and proposing changes to those bylaws. The volunteers were made up of former and current members, critics of our association, former members of the Association of Corporate Travel Executives, and many of you who are here today in the audience and watching online. You spent hundreds of hours reviewing, discussing, and making recommendations on proposed changes that ultimately were passed. So thank you.
The recommendations from the group varied. It included board composition changes. It included first ever global representation elected to our board, as well as term limits. It also included things like streamlining of the membership types, right? Between active and allied and direct members. It also gave all members the right to vote on bylaw changes and leadership within the organization. Over the course of a couple of months, now keep in mind this group worked for months to get this stuff ready, and then within a couple of months we put the vote to you guys, and you guys came out in record numbers and supported the changes that your peers made.
Yeah, we have been so honored to be a part of this thoughtful, passionate process. But as we progress forward and think about the future, there are still additional recommendations, future changes that we need to consider to be part of what we do as an organization going forward and through continued governance and modernization. So we're going to be reaching out to many of you online, in the room, who couldn't be here today to make sure that you remain equally active going forward in the process to ensure that our association is truly representative of a rapidly evolving and increasingly global industry and prepared to meet the future of business travel. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
I think we need to shorten that little stage to walk that far. So thank you so much, Will and Rita, and the task force behind that's working together every day on this. It's through the contributions made by so many that GBTA is able to truly serve the needs of our industry and our members. And when it comes to our programs, education programs, we like to recognize Airbnb for the support they provided over the last year. Emphasizing their commitment to the business travel industry, the long-term partnership with GBTA, Airbnb came forward in 2021 to make possible a scholarship program because there's no better way to give back than through our education. We are thrilled that with their support, they have helped over 135 professionals this year so far through this scholarship program. Airbnb's commitment has also enabled the GBTA Academy to relaunch the Certification in Corporate Travel Execution program, or as I know it, the CCTE, through Cornell University. GBTA was also able to offer the GLP program, Global Leadership Program, in partnership with the University of Virginia. Additionally, their support has enabled us to give global access to all Academy courses and the Global Travel Professional GTP exam. So we'd like to thank we'd like to thank Airbnb for helping GBTA to continue to offer learning and professional development opportunities in the face of these extremely challenging times. Today, we'd like to recognize and celebrate with a major milestone for these GBTA members who have earned their Global Leadership Professional designation. This is a challenging time in a regular year, but more impressive that these individuals were able to accomplish this with the current circumstances. Earning this designation for business travel professionals is the pinnacle of achievement and marks advanced competencies impact and leadership for their companies and their careers. We'd like to recognize the GLT graduates from 2020 and 2021. We are honored that so many of them could be here today at convention.
Michael Albers, Jeff Cherry, Stephen Kahn, George Kalka,
Goodbye.
Shauna Kane, Maria King, Juju Lemons, Blake Lloyd, Juan Maya, Terry Marino, Marie Orlander, Angela Paulus, Liz Pond, Scott Seriani, Mark Stratford, Kelly Turco, and in memoriam Hector Reyes. The 2021 class, Samantha Bean, Tony Bonet Verity, Visitisha Grant, Adam Morales, Carmen Smith, and Phyllis Tess.
We have one more photo, though we have to wait for Amanda. So Amanda has been working with this great group, and so she is joining us on stage here for this photo. So again, thank you. Big round of applause for everyone for their tremendous accomplishments. Thank you, and congratulations again. We encourage and look forward to seeing more members pursuing this esteemed designation in the future. At this time, please help me in welcoming to the stage my fellow board colleagues, Dorothy Dowling and Mike Kashera. It's a long walk.
Thank you, Denise. Yeah. I know I speak for myself, Denise, and Mark when I say one of the best parts of convention is gathering and recognizing those colleagues who volunteer and contribute with passion and purpose to GBTA, the industry, and on behalf of all of us. Their efforts are outstanding and impactful every year, but especially needed and appreciated in a challenging year like this one. We're celebrating them all, although some couldn't join us here today. It is my pleasure to present our first recognition, the Direct Member of the Year Award. This award recognizes a buyer member whose unwavering dedication and effort have had a significantly positive impact on both the association and the travel management industry. This year's winner has spearheaded DEI and brought it front and center as a key initiative for corporate consideration. She has served as a board member of ITM, led DEI substrands for TAMS, elected for European Steering Committee for GBTA, served on ACT, and many more. She has delivered an enormous amount of time sharing her knowledge and insights with suppliers and buyers. Her nurturing yet bold approach builds confidence and encourages her mentees to realize their potential. This year's Direct Member of the Year Award goes to Carol Fergus, Global Travel Manager, Fidelity.
Go get the award. Go get the award.
Oh, yes, thank you. Congratulations, Carol. We're so grateful for everything you do for us. So come over here.
We're going to have a congratulations.
Okay, right here. So we're going to do a picture. This is yours. Oh, somewhere we go. Where they put the...
Well done.
So you can just go back down this way. You have to go back this way. You have to go with them. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm honoured to have the task of presenting the Allied Member of the Year award. This award is presented annually to an Allied member of GBTA for outstanding contribution to the associations and to the managed travel industry. This year's winner was one of the first to raise his hand during the bylaw project because he believed that change is not just constant, but necessary. In addition, he assists with the GBTA peer review process annually and takes time to help at a chapter and local basis, and also serves on the US Meetings Committee. His impact on the industry from so many angles cannot be measured, but we are excited to recognize him here today. It is true pleasure to announce the Allied Member of the Year award goes to Gary Murakami, Vice President of Sales and Industry Relations, Teneo Hospitality Group. Now, unfortunately, Gary couldn't be here today, but he'll be here next year. And here's a brief message from Gary.
Hello, everyone at GBTA Annual Convention in Orlando. I wish I could be with you all this year at convention in person. I was so surprised to receive the call regarding the award this year. Thank you for the honor of being selected GBTA Allied Member of the Year. Having been an active member of GBTA, as well as our local chapter, BAPTA, for more than 20 years, I truly appreciate the impact and value the organization has had for my personal growth and professional career, and the many friendships that have developed over the years. So I will look forward to seeing you all next year at convention in 2022 in San Diego. Thank you.
As board president, it is my honor to present the President's Award. This award is given each year to an outstanding contributions of a GBTA member who provides leadership and vision within our association and who advances the travel industry. But this year is not like every other year. So this year, the President's Award recognizes two impactful groups. One task force that spent hundreds of hours reading, parsing, and determining the needed changes to our GBTA bylaws in the first ever modernization effort. These efforts have rejuvenated the association and have kept the spirit of volunteerism alive, even during a tough time within our industry. The other task force consists of members and staff who worked together to create the first ever Ready Safe Travel training and contributed to GBTA's around the world virtual training with global and simultaneous regional presentations over a 4-week period. They contributed expertise, networking contacts, and ultimately the success of this program allowed 700 to become certified Ready Safe Travel practitioners. So this year's President's Award goes to the Bylaw and the Ready Safe Travel Task Force. We invite these tremendous volunteers and teams to stay after and join me up front for a photo opportunity to the main stage. Thank you again for their outstanding individuals for their significant impact and contributions that have benefited this industry and our association in a time when it was well needed. So congratulations to you all.
Please welcome Vice President of Corporate and TMC Accounts and Global Sales U.S. and Canada for Marriott International, Tim Oldfield.
Well, good afternoon. You know, it has been a fabulous week, proving once again that video calls are no substitute for meeting face-to-face. Yeah, you should applaud that. So, on behalf of all Marriott associates worldwide, thank you for joining us. We are so appreciative of the strong efforts from our friends at GBTA in bringing the global business travel community together this week in Orlando. Marriott is so proud to continue our sponsorship with GBTA and the partnerships we share with each of you. They are amongst our most valued. The strength and the depth of those commitments has been most evident as the world opens up and begins to reveal itself in a new normal as we enter the post-pandemic environment. We believe, and I say we truly believe, the future of travel is bright. Now, today's speaker will share some interesting thoughts on balancing personal and professional success. And it struck me, working in an industry that is built on people traveling and people gathering, hotels play a role in helping achieve that balance. Hotels, as you know, are central to community, whether that is sleeping, eating, meeting, drinking, learning, celebrating, coaching, or just escaping. Hotels and the wonderful teams of people who power our hotels are an important part of life's balance. As leisure or workations become a new and growing norm, travelers will seek to blend and balance personal with professional. And our industry has not only an opportunity, but most importantly, an obligation to support and help usher in that new balance. As I close, I wish to thank all of you for the partnership and commitments you make to Marriott International and the entire hospitality community. The travel you do, the meetings you attend, all play an important role in our industry's much-deserved return to vibrancy. I'll leave you now with this short video which inspires me to find my own sense of balance by exploring more of our intriguing world and to live life fully at work and play with the incredible power of travel.
We are not here on this planet to close our eyes to the world.
We are here to go out and experience its many wonders.
Because through our experiences, we grow and change.
And realize that we are part of something greater.
We see truth. We embrace each other and become bigger than ourselves.
Travel has the power to shape our world.
Because travel makes us whole again.
With 30 hotel brands and endless experiences, where can we take you?
Please welcome President of Vision 360, Andre Jette.
Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited coming all the way from Montreal to spend a little time with you today. This is going to be a mini talk on a big subject, which is how do we, after COVID, go back to happiness? So I've got two questions. Who wants to be happier? Just raise your hand. Anybody here would like to be happier? I hope you all raise your hands, yes. But the most important question is, do you actually believe that it is possible to go back to a happy place after trauma, after COVID? And if you say in your head, yes, Andre, it is possible to go back, well, guess what? You're right. It is possible. But if you think, you doubt, and you think, well, maybe it's not really possible, guess what? That means for you, it's going to be a little bit harder. Because the brain is virtual. We're going to be talking a bit about neuroscience today. And the brain, because it's virtual, if you have a belief system that's limiting it, then you might experience out there that limitation. So, let me explain. Before COVID, you and I, we would get up, go to work, and produce a little bit of endorphins. And we would also produce energy, stress hormone called adrenaline. Do you know anything about adrenaline? Yes, adrenaline, a little bit of adrenaline is very good. It keeps you focused. It gives you energy. So it's sharp. It makes you sharp. So we used to just produce some adrenaline during the day, and at the end of the day, we would take it down. It's like the level of adrenaline would go down. So we kept a chemical balance in the body. With trauma, with COVID, what happened is we got up one morning with that adrenaline, but we kept it there. Every day was like, oh my God, I'm stuck with that adrenaline thing, the rush. And after a while, it turned into cortisol. cortisol, not your friends. Cortisol kills your immune system. Imagine we have COVID and we just have too much cortisol in the body. It makes you age quickly, and it has all sorts of effects, like maybe you had experienced that thing like you go to bed at night and you say, I'm just so tired, I'm just so dead tired. I'm going to go to bed early, and you go to bed with so much cortisol in the body. You're in bed, but you're like this. You're like looking at the ceiling, and you say, oh, my God, I've got to sleep. Oh, my God, I've got to sleep. And as you say, I've got to sleep more, we produce more stress hormone, right? And, of course, your husband is sleeping deeply, right? The guy is snoring, right? So you don't know this. As a man, you become an irritation to your wife at 3 in the morning. Or some of you, you go to bed, bam, you fall asleep right away because you're so tired. Well, you're going to wake up 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and you're like wide awake, ready to go. And you say, oh my God, what's happening to me? That's cortisol. Or you wake up early and the mind starts racing. You start multitasking in your head, and you think about the day and the meeting, and we're like, oh my God, what should I wear today? We're freaking out about things, and we multitask, right? Well, do you know that it takes 42% more time to complete a task when you multitask? So today we're going to learn to do a little less multitasking and shift from too much cortisol to the opposite, the happy feeling, the happy hormone, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, all free drugs in your brain that we can access. But the problem is you and I, you know what's been happening? We've been focusing, the brain is creating neural pathways constantly, you and I feeling alive only when we have a lot of stress. So it's like, here we are today, and I say, I just don't want to prove that I'm alive only when I'm stressed. I want to prove I'm alive also feeling fun and joy. And where's my joy? Where's my passion? So I'm going to take you to the neural pathways. We're going to take that one out and replace it, if you want to have more fun, we're going to replace it with a new neural pathway. Because you know what? We deserve this. We went through so much contrast. You and I need to take our power back and not be subject and victimized to always feeling alive. And when we're stressed, and we know people that even on good days, they start thinking about negative stuff, or they complain. I'd say that people have a switch. I call it the bitch switch. Yeah, and you know, do you know people that are constantly bitching and complaining and you know, and you say, is she gonna stop? Is he gonna stop? Well, they're trained themselves to just feel alive. So even on good days, they have a needle, and the brain says, give me my adrenaline rush, you know. So we're going to take the needle out and create something else. Now, endorphins, dopamine, they are your best friends for the next few months. You need to know how to go to the body, travel inside yourself, and go to that good place. For me, COVID is like a hurricane. You know that when there's a huge hurricane, it's interesting because there's chaos, right? But there's a place inside the hurricane that's very quiet. There's an eye there. It's a quiet space, and you have that inside yourself. And I'm going to show you how to go to that quiet place and produce those nice hormones. Now, we're not going to talk about me. We're going to talk about you. But I need to say this about myself. What's really important today, what's really, really important today, it's not me. It's my boyfriend, especially my boyfriend's age. because my boyfriend's age, well, you know, is way younger than me. And that, you know, is very good for me because he produces a lot of endorphins and fun hormones in my body. So that's the first thing you should do. Go get a younger man in your life, a younger woman. That's my first tip, to go to a happy place. It works. When I met the guy, I was going through menopause, and now there's no more pause. So, yeah, I'm a happy camper. So, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. That's what we want. Because we have a lot of change, what's been happening is we created, with COVID, a lot of problem. This is what I see. A lot of new problems, but we try to apply old solution to new problems. It's not going to work. We need to shift the vision. We need to shift the focus. So this is what we're going to do. I want you to think about this. What makes you happy? Or maybe before COVID, what made you happy? What makes you happy? What makes you jazzed, excited? What creates endorphin in the body? And if in your mind you respond to, I love to do things with my senses, one of your 5 senses, you're on the right road. The road back is 5 senses. Some people, you love food. Do you know that food is the fastest way to be happy for the body? The fastest way to create endorphin is food. So who likes good wine here? Wine and cheese and... Yes, very good. I will say you should have more wine, right? The wine is very good for you. It relaxes the parasympathetic system, nervous system. But the wine also, if you do red wine, it has resveratrol in it. It's going to keep you young. So let's go for wine and younger men and younger women. So we're doing good here. So far, so good, right? Now, we have 5 senses. 5. If you use food every time you're stressed, it's not going to work. But sometimes you're watching TV on Netflix, and you're not even hungry, and you're sitting there in the living room, and sometimes you go like, oh, I think I'd like to eat something. And you say like, I'm not even hungry, Andrea, and I want to eat. Why? Because you have so much cortisol in the body, you're in debt. You have too much cortisol, and the brain says, I need to compensate. Give me something to eat. And sometimes we have salty food. If you go for salty food, that means under stress, you're losing your minerals. So you would go for salt. Some people, you go for sweet, right? Chocolate, sweet. You need an antidepressant, which is called serotonin. It's being produced by chocolate or sweet. And sometimes we do sweet and salty food. Who does sweet and salty at the same time? That's a new thing, caramel. Who does that? That means you're not doing well at all. That means you're depressed and you're losing minerals. So, but I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you with that. Some of you, no food. You're not interested in food. Music. Music, you hear a song and suddenly you just want to move and groove, you know, or just bring some energy in the body, or it just uplift your spirit. Some of you smell. You go to the country place, you put some wood in the fireplace, it smells good, it creates a feeling in you. Some people, it's kinesthetic. You want a massage. You want to meet people. You want to go and maybe you have a garage and you're fixing cars and you have some hobby, or maybe you cook, you know, with your hands, you're cooking, you're going shopping. We love shopping because we're touching everything and we're just having a ball. So, some of you, it's your eyes. You read a book or you go to a movie theater. Well, we haven't been to a movie theater for a while, that's for sure. But whatever you do, and let's say you are doing Netflix and you become one with the screen, you're so taken by what's on the screen, what's happened is your mind, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say. Suddenly the mind loses contact with time and space. You are one with the screen. That's when we take out the old neural pathways, recreate new ones. But if you watch TV and you're multitasking, you watch TV and you say, I'm going to go get some laundry done. I need to move ahead of my schedule. And I'm going to go iron stuff. And I'm going to, you know, we are watching our phone. I saw people walking at the airport, like, they're so addicted to their phone. They're sniffing Pixel, you know, sniffing Pixel all day. So it's like if you're watching TV but you're doing zillions of things, the brain says, he's working, she's working. So you're working while watching TV. You're working. The brain thinks you're working, but you're not being paid for all the extra hour you do because you're constantly working. We do Zoom now. I was talking to a nice lady earlier, and she said, before at the office, between meetings, I would get up and talk to people. I would have time to decompress. Now we do Zoom. Zoom, you know, we don't have time to stop. So we're stretching the mind, and the mind is not built to constantly be on that high energy frequency. You need to take it down. So what do you do in life actually right now that you become so one, oh, he's going to take a picture. Just wait, I'll do this side is better. Yes? Thank you, thank you. Okay. Because they usually take a picture when I'm like, you know, just terrible. So this is, I appreciate that. Thank you. Makes me happy. Good. So when you do something and you lose contact with time and space, you're at the right place. Let's say you're cooking for friends and you're having a glass of wine and you're cooking for friends all day and you go like, oh my God, I didn't see time. Time disappear. You're good. You're at the right place. So what do you do in life right now that creates that? So, who likes music? Anybody here likes music? We're going to do a little music in a few minutes. I'm going to explain why. Oh, you don't like music? Nobody clapped on that side. Oh, thank you. So, music. Let's say you're in your car. Let me explain to you how happy feeling happens in the body. You're in your car, it's a great song. The song comes out of the speaker. It's a frequency. It goes to your ear, right? Once it hits the eardrum, it becomes neurons connecting. The brain goes like this. It goes on fire. It goes like schlack, 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 schlack. All those neurons connects. And at a point, it becomes what we call a neural net, a group of neurons that recognize the song, and your brain goes, whoa, he likes that song, she likes that song. And it sends an electrical signal to your hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is like a disco with free drugs. So it gets to the hypothalamus, gets a blender out, puts some serotonin, matches all the good stuff, blends it, brings it up, and it's called a signature. Now, the music is not music. It's not electricity. It's not neurons. It's a signature. When you're in love, you have your own signature. When you're upset, you have your own signature. We all have our personality. But it does not stay, the music does not stay in the brain, right? When you're in love, it's not here. It's the whole body. The mind doesn't go, oh my God, I just love that girl. I just like that guy. No, it's the whole body. You want to see that person. When you're upset, you're really upset. The mind goes, I'm upset, but it's the body that reacts, right? You don't go like, I really don't like that person. Oh God, I can't stand that person. I just want to kill the guy, right? How come it goes to a signature to the body? Magic. You and I, while we're talking, we're losing about 30 million cells every second. No panic. We have new cells. The new cells, they come into the body. They have a DNA, a RNA. They don't have any emotional signature yet. And the cells, they love you. When you cut yourself, The cells right away rush to heal you, to balance the body back. The cells, they look at you, they look at where your focus is, they look at your mind, they look at the signature. And the cell says, wow, he loves that song. That's a great signature, happy signature. So the cell says, I love you, I want to hold on to that emotion. The cells have receptor site, little receptor site, little hands, and they're grabbing on to that signature. This is the miracle. When those cells split, they're going to talk to each other, and they're going to say, let's create more neural pathways, let's create more neural net, let's create those little hands, receptor site, for more fun. If you keep the music going, and there's no time and no space, and you are what we call analogical, means you're doing one thing, no time, no space, one with the thing you're doing. Guess what? When it splits at the third level, there's a big party in the body. And the party goes on, and the cells, they talk, and guess what they say? They say, let's trick her, let's trick him, let's turn off all the receptor site for pain, for the past, for the anxiety. Let's turn it off for her, for him. He's making an effort. She's making an effort. She's having fun. And they turn off those little hands, and they expand your ability for more joy. That's power. You are so freaking powerful, but we're not aware. And the neural pathways every day by default says, I need to prove I'm alive with stress. But you don't have to. If you work with people, after COVID, people are really stressed. You meet a client, you meet someone on your team, the person is stressed. If you come in contact and you're stressed, this person will go away because your frequency, the vibration is too intense. But if you self-care, you use your 5 senses, we calm down, you start having fun, you come in contact with people with that great energy and you're more calm, these people will want to spend time with you. It's not your product, it's not traveling, it's not. They just want to have a reflection back to someone who's back in their power, in their joy. That's your job. First responsibility is towards yourself. But you say what? You say, but André, I feel guilty when I take care of myself. So we give and we do Zoom. We do Zoom, and it's okay to give. We give 10, 12 hours a day. My friend Marie-Claude last week was working 15 hours a day. But if you don't even take 15 minutes for yourself, I mean, you work 15 hours, you don't take 15 minutes for yourself. This is so out of balance. You know, and what we do is, when we do take care of ourselves, we feel guilty. You have like that little voice, inner voice, that little voice that says, you know, you're taking a nice hot bath at night with a glass of wine. I'm going back to wine again. And then the voice, the little guilty voice, which is actually just neurons, the little voice says, get out of the bathtub. You didn't complete all your tasks, you know, your list, you didn't do all your list. And you talk to yourself and you say, no, it's okay, I can take a break. And the voice says, no, you can't. Your mother never took a break, your grandmother never took a break, get out of the bathtub. So we feel guilty. We have that voice, especially women. Men, they don't really know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the inner voice thing. They just don't know. But I had a guy once that said that he had a voice in his head, and I said, yes. He says, I think it's my wife's voice. And I agree that it was probably his wife's voice. So, feel guilty. We have to just remove the guilt factor out of this equation. Again, it's when you start feeling bad and anxious, and it's just neurons talking to each other. So we can't listen to those. So we're going to do a little exercise. You're going to use music. I want you to change your neural pathways. We're going to use the body to change how we feel. So we're going to do the COVID dance. So the COVID dance is this. You're going to have a partner. If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, it's good with me. But even, I know we're live streaming this. I want you to do it at home with your partner or family members. So, you know how you meet someone now? We go to the person and we say, oh, should I shake her hands? Oh, no. Oh, maybe I'll do the elbow. Maybe I'll go sideways. Oh, I don't know. So we are really, really uncomfortable right now. So we need to retrain the ability to connect with people. So we're going to use music. So you're going to have a partner, and we're going to put a great song in a few minutes. And I'm going to go elbow. So you're going to touch elbow. Elbow, legs, legs, sideways. Da, 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 we're going to dance. And then I'm going to say, change partner. That's when your brain freaks out. Because the brain just says, I was having a good time with that person. Why do I need to change? Because after COVID, it's all about shifting paradigms. I talked to Mrs. Niofang a while ago, and I said, how are you doing? And she said, oh my God, we are rebuilding a whole entire industry. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a big shift of paradigms. That's a big shift because COVID, we've been in a reactive mode. We're reacting, reacting, reacting. And it's asking you to be in a creative mode. So I'm going to challenge you to create, re-choreograph your life with that little music. I'm going to ask you 4 minutes of your life to go back to a happy. I like it when people get up and say, okay, it's time to leave now. So, like I said, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can do it in your mind. So, you're going to have a partner. I'm going to elbow, elbow, legs, legs, sideways, sideways. And I'm going to say, just change partner. And then, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to say, yeah, we can get up. I'm going to say, how do you feel? How would you feel if you had just won $1 million? I'm going to say that while you're dancing. How do you move if you have $1 million? Oh, I'm going to say, how do you move if you're in love? Usually people don't go like this, like, oh, I'm so in love. Oh my God, she's going to take all my money. I know. It's just, I'm so depressed. I'm so in love. If you win $1 million, you're going to think about a party. You know, you're not going to go like, oh, I have so much money. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. No, neural pathways. Now, you're going to say, but Andre, it's ridiculous. I don't have $1 million. I said, the mind is virtual. If you say to the mind, I'm moving and I'm happy, guess what? Taking back your power, going to a new neural pathway. It demands a different vision, attitude, and focus. So it's not going to be very long. We're going to have fun doing that. And then, as you come back, I'm going to have a few questions. My training is also body language. So I'm watching your body language as I'm speaking right now. I know some of you, you're stressed. I can see. There's someone here like this. I know. I met a guy the other day, he was like this. I said, you're stressed. He said, no, I don't think I am. I said, well, you have a lot of tension in your shoulders. You know, it looks like you forgot to take the hanger out of the jacket, this morning. And he said, well, I've been like this for months now. I think I'm pretty normal. You are not normal if you look like this, right? So I'm going to be watching your body language. No judgment here. Lots of self-care. We're just going to have fun. I want to see if you're able to shift paradigms. Very easy. So face-to-face with a partner to start, if you want to do it. Ian's going to put a great song for us. We're going to just boogie and have fun, if you want to. Okay. Remember that song? That's Bruno Mars. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to do elbow, elbow, and legs, legs, woo, and sideways. All right, sideways, woo. All right. And now we change partner, change partner. All right, let's elbow, legs, legs, side, side, face to face, elbow, elbow, legs, legs, side, side, side. We change partner, yeah. Woo! Go get a partner. All right, and let's do it again. Okay, elbow, elbow. All right, legs, 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 legs. Woo! Sideways. All right. Woo! All right, elbow, elbow, side. Hey, side. Woo! Now come back with me. Come back with me. All right. Now, shoulders. Let's do shoulders. Shoulders. All right. Let's add shoulders and hips. Let's release some stress. Woo! Let's add some legs. Woo! All right. How do you move when you are in love? How do we dance when we are in love? Woo! We are in love. Woo! All right. How do you feel if you win $1 million? So wide. Woo! All right. And how are you doing if you are in love? You won $1 million and you're on vacation. Woo! Woo! Let's just dance. Woo! Let's just dance. Woo! All right. Woo-hoo! All right. Woo! And you can sing too. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Now, shoulder, hips. All right. Little twist. Let go of stress. Legs. All right. Just for fun. Up, down, up, down. Ah, very good. Nice body language. Now, who dares coming on stage with me and do a boogie? Who wants to come on stage? Come on. Come on. Woo, just for fun. Come on. Woo-hoo. All right. All right. Woo! All right, very good. Woo! All right. Nice. Shifting paradigms. Okay, count. Woo! Down, funk it down. Woo! Down, funk it down. Woo! All right. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. One more time. He says one more time. Ian, can you do 1 minute of that same song? Just 1 more minute? And we can do this? Okay. Partner. Elbow. 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 Legs. Legs. Sideways. Sideways. Waist. Sideways. Woo! Oh, yeah. Hey, legs. Legs. Side. Woo! You're feeling it? Good. Woo! Woo!
hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Woo! Believe me, just watch.
Stay. Okay, Ian. Woo!
Don't believe me, just watch.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Woo! Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone had fun? Did you have fun? Okay, good. Let me just, we're going to allow people to go down, and I'm going to give you one little exercise. Elbow. Yeah, that is okay. Well, I had fun. We're coming all the way from Montreal to do this. This is the question. I'm going to tell you about body language a bit, and I'm going to give you one exercise because this is such a short talk. An exercise how to build new neural net, new neural pathways. So, who while you were dancing or watching, we always have watcher, which is fine with me, there's no judgment. Who while the exercise forgot about tomorrow or forgot about yesterday? Raise your hands if for a minute or two, whoops, you forgot about the rest. Anybody? You were like with me, analogical with the dance. This is your power. I showed you, we use music. Not everybody likes to dance. I get that, but go home and do whatever you want to do that creates a space where there's no time, no space. Now, I want you to touch right here on the right side. Starting today, we have an anti-COVID button, anti-stress COVID button. This is called neuro-linguistic. While you're touching, we're anchoring a word. See in your mind the word eject. Eject, eject. This is going to be your eject button right here. Eject, eject, eject. So starting now, when there's an irritant in your life, there's something that's bothering you, I want you to just put your hands here and see the word eject. Well, you don't say it out loud. You don't come home this weekend and you look at your kids and they say, hey, eject for the rest of the weekend. You don't. Because it has nothing to do with other people. It has to do with you telling your brain, that person is having a nasty day. She's telling me, she's bitching about it. She's dumping her stress on me. I want to have compassion, but I do not want to vibrate specifically to her pain. I want to have compassion, but I don't want to hold on to it for her. You already have so much stress. You can't do that. Have empathy. It's hard to travel these days. Have empathy. But when persons start dumping their stress, you just look at the person and you go like this. You go like, oh my God, you're having such a bad day. Oh yeah. And your brain is going, Jackie. And the brain understands that you do not want, by default, go to all the bad day you had in the past, create that anew, and prove you exist in pain. Eject, eject, eject. Now, to finish the session, touch on the other side, that's your heart. That's for those who said earlier, I want to be happy. This is your heart. When someone good happens, even a small little, tiny little thing happens, I want you to touch here, and the word is record. I am telling the brain that I prove I exist. I'm recording it consciously. I am being deliberate at creating a new pathway. If you meet a beautiful woman and you say to this lady, I love those red pants, you look great. Please don't say, well, I didn't pay much money for that. I don't think I look great. If someone pays attention to you and say, I love working with you. I love, record. So it's a simple tool. It works because it has nothing to do with other people. It has to do with you taking back your power. And remember this. Every time you care for yourself, you take time for yourself, you care for other people. You are not a human doing. What will be remembered from you is the being. Who are you? I am the kind one. I am the one that supports. I'm the one that creates solutions. I am a creator. I'm not a reactor anymore. Choose not to react. So from all my Canadian heart to you all, I want to thank you for being here. It's a short session. I said a lot of things. Make sure you review it. I want to thank the team for having me today, especially with Suzanne, who I love very much. So thank you. And don't forget that traveling inside yourself is the way back to happiness. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so my heart is still pumping. I'm so out of shape. I thought I walked a lot this week, but now I know I need to do a lot more dancing. That was amazing, André. I have heard André speak. Probably that was my 5th time, and I learned something every time. She has taught me to say that we are not human doings, we are human beings. And I think even though we were doing a lot of dancing up here, I think that's a really good thing to take home with us. So thanks again, André, for all the magic you left with us today. So we covered a lot of ground, literally and figuratively, this week. We hope certainly that we achieved the goal that we came here for, to bring you content and connections. I'm so grateful for those of you in this room, because there aren't a lot of you here, but I know you're watching from home as well. And we know that a lot of you had flights to catch. So we're certainly grateful to be part of this business travel journey as we come back to a healthy industry, to be ready, to be safe, and ultimately, of course, to travel. So thank you for spending 3,180 minutes with us here in Orlando. If you were here for kickoff, we had the Seasons of Love, if I can remember, and it was all about time clock ticking. And to those of you who joined us from our virtual streaming from around the world, thank you as well. And of course, I'd like to recognize those who made this possible. So thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Marriott, for today. To all of the exhibitors, to the volunteers, our ambassadors, and of course, the production team backstage that you never get to see. And I'd like to extend a very special thank you and appreciation for our GBTA staff, who also bring their magic every day to work. Woo! And this is not the end. It's the end of the week, but it's not the end of our journey. It's just the beginning. And we have a new chapter in the business travel industry that we are just starting. So help us move into that next theme for next year with the input of our committee leaders, of which Mike is a part of, and others like him, our staff, and of course our board of directors. I would like to reveal to you today the new 2022 theme. It is about reconnect, reimagine, and recreate. We listened to what you said in 2022, what it should be all about the industry coming together again after these long 20 months, about new approaches, about creating and delivering what's next. If you're a supplier, if you're a buyer, it's all about that. So we're truly excited to reconnect, to reimagine, and to recreate with you what's next in this travel industry. And guess what? There's only 386,580 minutes until we're together again next year at GBTA Convention 2022 in San Diego, August 14th through the 17th. I have heard you love San Diego. I know I've been there at this convention, so we'll know you'll be there in force. So on behalf of everyone here at GBTA, safe travels home, and thank you for being here this week, and we'll see you in San Diego.